Next question comes from Chrissie Foster, whose two daughters, Emma and Katie, were raped by Melbourne priest Kevin O'Donnell while they were at primary school in the 1980s. Chrissie.
Thank you. I think this one might be for Francis. Sure. Why, when children are the essence of Christianity, trusting, loving, innocent and virginal, do some clergy sexually assault them, and then, after complaints, all the bishops worldwide protect the offenders by moving them to another parish, aiding and abetting them in future crimes, sometimes for decades?
Thanks, Chrissie. The first part of the question is, why do priests and religious abuse little children? I sat in there for 5 years and I kept shaking my head about why. I mean, instinctively, it doesn't make sense. But secondly, it's appalling. And I could only say, from listening to the Royal Commission reports, they're sick. These people are sick, and it's evil. And I can't explain evil beyond that. The real other big crime is then the show covering it up. And why does that happen? Because there's a club. It's part of clericalism. And I think, unfortunately too, men are more permissive of the sexual behaviour of men than they should be. And I think there's been too much excusing, too much permissiveness, and then ultimately an instinctive defensiveness that somehow seems to value the good name of the institution above the welfare of a child. And if you put those two things together and look at everything the Royal Commission has said and recommended, unless the Catholic bishops of Australia, on every recommendation, can demonstrate that the welfare of the child is the number one priority, then they've failed again.
Mm-hmm. Chrissie, there was another part of your question, and I'll let you ask that now, I should say.
Okay. How can politicians still let the church set up and run their own money-saving, victim-demeaning schemes?
Francis, I'll go back to you on that, and I want to hear from the rest of the panel on it, but the Melbourne response was Cardinal Pell's answer to this. Should it be discontinued immediately?
Yes. The days of the church investigating itself are meant to be over. That's the whole reason why there's a national redress scheme. The Catholic Church leadership signed off on our recommendations that they should, when it comes to civil actions, they should provide an entity that can be sued. They should act like a model litigant and not play tricky games. Now, that's what they said they would do.
But they're not doing it, Francis, is that what you're saying? Because they
Yes.
appear to be, at the very least, dragging their feet, to put it mildly.
I think, as I've said before, the Catholic Church uses inertia as a management tool. They drag their feet on purpose. And unfortunately, even when there can be a pronouncement on high from major archbishops, it isn't followed through on the ground by particular orders or dioceses. They're all a law unto themselves. What the Catholic Church needs in this area, I totally agree, it should be shut down, the internal redress schemes and reparation schemes. But the Church needs an ombudsman type role where it brings bishops into account, because they're accountable only to the Pope. And we've seen recently that even the Pope, who I like, has a real blind spot in this area. He is not strong enough in this area. And he is too, I think, intimidated by colleagues like cardinals and other significant influential clerics.